Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we're gonna have the second Q&A because a lot of you mofos last video placed a lot of questions, which I'm happy for. But I'm gonna try to keep it a bit more shorter, you know, to get all of the questions in. And I'm really sorry if I missed some of them. I don't know. I think I got all of them in. But anywho, I'm really digging this, and apparently you also liked it as well. So I'm thinking, let's make it official, okay? Every Monday we're gonna do this Q&A thing. And it doesn't matter if you already posted a question on a previous video or shit like that. There's no rules to this, okay? It can be, you know, Ret Paladin related, Rogue related, WoW related, you know, everything you want to ask, just throw it on in the comments, okay? We're gonna make this really fun. So without further ado, let's go into the first question. And this one comes from Andre Neri, really active subscriber. We had like good chats in the comments. So his question is, what's your favorite WoW channel besides yours, of course, and why it is Taliesin&Flame? Also, you should start streaming. You have a very charismatic haha. Really? I never. Is that like a solid enough reason to start streaming? Okay, let's take it step by step. So my favorite WoW channel, oh man, there's a lot of channels that I follow. Really, Taliesin&Flame is really not my cup of tea, no pun intended. I watch them from time to time, but for a couple of months now, my favorite would have to be MadSeasonWoW. I don't know how many of you guys watch this, or specifically you, Andre, but he just makes like good videos for eating. Like when I eat something and, you know, I want to watch some YouTube while eating, his stuff is the best for that. And also, without any disrespect, when I have trouble sleeping, I just throw in a video of his and get into sleep. So MadSeasonWoW, probably gonna put a link in this description if you guys are curious to see. He doesn't do PvP stuff, but you'll have to discover him as well. And I should start streaming. It's in the plan, man. It's in the works. I'm gonna see how I'm gonna make that happen, but it's coming for sure. Thank you for the question, Andre, and you know, appreciate you having a lot of activity on the channel, man. Really love it. Now let's move for the next one, which is from Rick Bunker. Hey Marcelian, I go by Sir Didymus. My question is, do you think red legendary bracelets will be really OP when in war mode? Oh yeah, all legendaries will be OP up until level 116, because they'll be working. So you better get your ass moving and get all the legendaries you can get to have an advantage over the people who don't while being in war mode and leveling in BFA. So yeah, all legendaries will be OP. It doesn't matter if it's the red braces or whatever. It's gonna be really fuckfest up until level 116. I'm looking forward to it. You know, on my red, I think I have the shoulders and a ring, maybe. I'm not even sure. I haven't logged in into live for some time. But yep, all legendaries OP, man. Thanks for the question. And once again, guys, I'm trying to keep it more short because there's a lot of questions in, okay? So please don't flame. Okay, moving on. Okay, this one is from Apex 2005. Why do I keep watching your videos even though I don't know shit about WoW? I play MSN Solitaire at work last week. And hashtag noob ass shit. Okay, I personally know this dude, and I will keep his identity secret. But you know, I just wanted to put his comment in the video because from time to time he throws in a really awesome and funny comment. Okay, so I see you, man. You know, keep commenting. I love it. But why do you watch this shit? I don't know, man. Maybe it's because of the charisma. But thanks a lot, man. Moving on. The next question, the Bruno's XC. I don't know how to pronounce that, man. Great shit, dude. Thanks. I'm thinking about maining Red in BFA, but I'm still between Red, Fury, or Range DPS, like Locks. Can you help me choose a main? How is Red in these regards? Oh man. Okay, well we'll see what we can do. So RBGs viable. I don't see it that viable really, because we need that cleave. We need to be that cleave mission we used to be in Legion, and we're not anymore. So I don't see it that viable in RBGs. World PvP definitely viable for World PvP because of the bubbles, the heals, and you know, being all around really tanky in Battle for Azeroth. World PvP for sure. I mean, just look at my previous videos to see if it's viable in World PvP. It is. Arenas, definitely 100% will be viable in arenas, although it will work, as you know, we are already used to it in niche comps. And Mythic Plus, it was always good for Mythic Plus. I think it will still be, granted it wouldn't have the same AoE anymore, but it can hold its own. So I can see it viable for Mythic Plus as well. Now, helping you choose the main dog, that's a really difficult thing. You have to make that decision, man. What do you like? Do you like playing melees? Do you like playing casters? What fantasy are you looking for? Do you want to be the guy that deals damage and also helps others? Or do you just want to be like, you know, pure damage, kick everybody around and shit? It's a really tough question to answer to make a decision on your behalf. I play Ret because I've always played Ret. It is my main. I always loved the fact that I could do damage while also being useful with other stuff. That's the main thing for me. I love it. And this is why I also play a rogue, because, you know, rogues in comparison to Reds, they have much more utility, but it's a little bit different, right? So you can peel really good, right? You can control much better and still have the damage. This is my, you know, my philosophy on it. You gotta find yours, dog. But thanks for the question. Keep them coming. Celtic Sun, love your videos. Thank you. Maining a paladin because of you. Wow, okay. What Azurite traits do you think a Ret Paladin should be going for? What level 100 talent do you recommend? Ooh, okay, Azurite traits. So I have like a hybrid right now. I don't really know the names of them, and again, Azurite traits are subject to change as well. But I'll tell you what I go for and what really works for me on the Gladiator Sanctum beta and previous to that. Once I got some of them, so the one with the Blade of Wrath thing, it was like a bit broken. It did a lot of damage when the Blade of Wrath critted. I don't know how the fuck to pronounce that word. And also the haste one. Now, if it would be for me right now, I would take Azurite gear that would have that ability which would proc you haste, because haste is a goddamn godsend for Ret Paladins. So whatever source you can get for haste, get it, okay? I am like, you know, I used all gear with haste on the Gladiator Sanctum with trinkets and, you know, enchants with haste, and I'm still like at 21% or something like that. And when everything procs, you know, Azurite gear, enchants, you know, trinkets and all of that, I may get to 30%, and it's really, really awesome because GCD is like really down. You have a lot of abilities that get really much faster off of cooldown, and it's generally much more fun and faster to play rather than having a different stat. So Azurite traits, haste things, haste procs all the time. If you want more damage, get the Blade of Wrath thing. Next question. Kitsan saw a Boomkin video where he only used Moonfire to kill people. Have you come across this in PvP, and is it effective? Oh yeah, I've come across that shit, man. I think they fixed it though. There was the Azurite gear for Boomkins with the Moonfire thingy. So you probably seen Boomkins in BGs, you know, only spamming Moonfire, even in arenas, like really strong. Plus there's a lot of them, you know, exploiting that gear bug where you only have your 3 pieces of Azurite gear, you know, trinkets and the weapon, and everything is scaled like really badly. I mean badly in the sense that it's overscaled, especially the abilities that come or get buffed from Azurite traits. So it's effective in PvP, but you know, it's a bug. It's like busted, it's overtuned, and there's a lot of people exploiting that shit. So I wouldn't necessarily call it like effective properly. Yeah, but thanks for the question, dog. So next question is from Sam Binden. Is there a wake trinket thing in BFA? I never really understood this on Legion. Thanks, boss. A wake trinket. I don't understand really what you mean, so maybe you can explain it a bit more in the comments. If you're referring to Wake of Ashes, that's a talent right now. So wake trinket, maybe it's some sort of PvP thing that I don't know about, but for PvP I don't know anything about a wake trinket in BFA. In Legion, if we're talking about the Wake of Ashes, then that was like the artifact trait ability. Now it's baked in as a talent. But maybe I didn't understand it correctly, Sam, so you just cleared it up a little bit in the comments on this video, okay? And I'll answer it in the video. Not in the video, in the comment, okay? So next question comes from Cameron Pack. So, we already know mobility is out of the equation. That's right. We aren't getting much back. What other way would you improve Paladin while still being balanced? Also, would you be in favor of a 6th Holy Power slot? Thank you for the answer. Man, oh man, I love these questions regarding changes to Ret Paladins and what we could do about it. So yeah, we're not getting mobility back at least until Blizzard changes their philosophy regarding Red Paladins. What would I improve on the Paladin? Well, I would improve, I mean, so I would nerf the damage, okay? I would nerf the damage, and I would nerf the heal as well, okay? I would give it a 10% nerf, and by the way, this is like totally noob-ass opinion, okay? Totally noob-ass input. I'm no developer. I don't know how that shit works. I'm just, you know, thinking off the top of my head, okay? So don't come at me with that bullshit. So I would nerf damage 10%. I would nerf overall healing with 10%. Instead, I would bring back that ability that they had in Legion Alpha. It was called Turalian Smite, and initially it was a teleport. You threw your sword somewhere, you press the ability again, it would teleport over there. That has been changed and on a different build on the Alpha, and it was like a sort of like a charge. So you placed somewhere your sword, you can move around, blah 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 blah, and if you press it again within a specific time frame, you would charge to that point, okay? Maybe I'm gonna have a video footage. I'm gonna find a video footage and put it in the video so you guys can see how that should work. I would do that. So I would keep everything the same, nerf damage 10%, nerf healing 10%, but I would have this talent somewhere baked in. Maybe, I don't know, remove Cavalier for red talents and place this Turalian Smite. I think it was Turalian Smite. Yeah. And in regards to the 6th Holy Power slot, I'm not a really big fan of that. I wasn't a big fan of that on my rogue as well with Deeper Stratagem, because the way the Paladin is being built from Legion and up until now, there's a lot of downtime and you have to really work hard to get those holy powers up, and you have to connect all the time. And in PvP specifically, there's not always good moments to connect and generate that holy power, right? So okay, we get a Wake of Ashes, we have another holy power from Judgment, and so on and so forth. It has been made a little bit easier, but it has been with a purpose. I believe we needed that, especially in PvP, to be able to get out more holy power spenders. If you would add on top another holy power slot, it would just add to the downtime that's already a bit fucked up, okay? So I'm not a huge fan of a 6 power holy slot, but you know what I would change, right? With the Paladin, I'm getting back to that movement speed. I strongly believe we need that mobility somehow of some sorts, because eventually PvP will evolve gradually until expansion, where everything is faster and faster and faster, burstier, and you need that mobility. You either need it to get away or to put more pressure. Thank you very much for the question, Cameron. Keep on coming, bruh. Okay, next one is from Playing Man 1995. What is your opinion on DK for PvP in BFA, and also maybe Warrior? I will tell you from the perspective of playing with them and against them on the Gladiator Sanctum, because I haven't played neither of these myself. So Unholy DK is by far the best spec at the moment on the Gladiator Sanctum. They can apply really high pressure across the board, and they seem to survive a bit longer than Frost DKs. So definitely Unholy Decay should be viable if they don't change anything about it. Warrior, Fury Warrior is 100% what needs to be. I mean, I play with a lot of Fury Warriors. I play with Arms as well, they did quite alright, but when I play with a Fury Warrior, things really kicked off. And they're viable, you know, they're good in PvP. I just think that maybe Arms needs a bit more love. That's all it is to it. Of course, when comparing it to Red Paladins are overtuned a bit, so there's no point on comparing it to that. But Unholy Decay, Fury Warrior, definitely good specs. Definitely good specs for PvP specifically. Thank you for the question, dog. Alrighty, so next question is from Josh Patrick. Great vids. Thank you, Josh. Trying to decide which play class to main. Can you tell me why you choose Paladin over DK or Warrior? Oh, this question is like really close to the similar one. So I choose Paladin all the time because, one, I played Paladin since the dark days, since Burning Crusade, Red Paladin. I like to have a heavy hitting, or a decent hitting class that can also help others. I don't know, I have this thing of helping others. You know, there's a lot of explanation for that, but Generally, I like to play something and I like to do a specific task and also be able to help others, okay? You might say, hey, why don't you play a fucking healer? I played healers. I played Holy, I played Discipline back in previous expansions. I may play again. I like playing healers, but also I like, you know, kicking it with the stick, you know what I'm saying? So this is why I play Paladin, because it has that component of a support. You have more support tools for your team. DK and Warriors can have that as well. I'm not saying they don't, but obviously in a less effective manner, right? So this is 100% why I like to play Paladin. I think it's the fantasy of it overall, and I can talk about this shit all day long, but sorry Josh, I need to keep it like really short and simple to not make the video like an hour long and, you know, over explain shit. So maybe we can like detail a bit more in the comments or on the next video. But thank you very much for the question, man. Appreciate it. Pow, pow. So next question is from Hell Hunter, which is one of our Patreons. when do you give me a beer? Oh man. So listen, Hell Hunter, I'm gonna give you a beer either this week or next week, because you know the temperature outside is rising and we need to like calm down our thirst, okay? So we're gonna do it for sure. Hell Hunter, guys, apart from being one of our Patreons, he's a good friend as well, and he's from the same town we're in, so obviously it's a really good relationship because we can meet up and talk shit, you know, a bunch of shit. So beer is coming, Hell Hunter. Thank you for the support, dog. You're right on. So next question, Dax Vader. Hey man, love your vids. Thank you. I've got a raw question. Huh, okay. I've seen you try to bleed spec instead of a full poison spec. Is it worth it? I hate my poisons get dispelled all the time. I remember in Legion beta that bleed spec with Exsanguinate was a beast, but now it's a joke. Well, yeah, the full-on bleed spec you know about in Legion isn't working anymore. I tried it with Exsanguinate on BFA, it didn't do the same damage. So what I do is a bit of a hybrid. I take like internal bleeding as a challenge, but because it's more or less the best one you can get from there. And from the PvP ones, I think Mind Numbing Poison, System Shock, and Deadly Brew. And you don't have to worry about your poisons getting dispelled all the time. That would be a problem when facing Paladins in general, but your auto attacks apply poisons all the time, so there's really not that much of an issue as long as you maintain your target, you maintain close to your targets. Plus you have Fan of Nights, use that especially in 2v2 and 3v3 arenas because you like keep applying, you know, poisons all the time. So my build, I'm gonna talk a bit more on future videos about, you know, possible and viable assassination builds, but right now what's working for me is, you know, a lot of poison shit with the internal bleeding as well. Hope that answers your question, yo. But thank you very much for the questions. Keep them coming. Question was a question. Next question comes from Khaled A, and he says, "Don't you feel like our damage depends on Hammer of Reckoning window? At least when we want to kill something quick while healer is CC'd." Well, Khaled, it's been like this since like forever, man. We always were window dependent, window reliant, you know, Avenging Wrath reliant, you know, healer being CC change reliant. So traditionally Ret Paladins in PvP were always reliant on some sort of damage window. Now Hammer of Reckoning is specifically, I don't see that we're being too much of we don't have too much of a dependence on. You can obviously put some quick pressure with it, but for me, in most of the cases, I tend to use it for a big-ass Word of Glory. Obviously, it has its pressure component. I mean, it's good instant damage and the 6-second wings. But your main window should be your Avenging Wrath paired up with your unused trinket, because you can use trinkets now, right? As we did it before. But this is something that, you know, I've grown accustomed to, and I think a lot of like Reds grew accustomed to. It has been like this for a very long time. And I don't see it changing. I don't really have a problem with, you know, being dependent on the window. It's more or less good because it adds a little bit to the skill cap. I mean, a general good window would be, a general good window to burst the target would be, first of all, to watch your enemy team players not having trinkets or not having CCs, right? You having available your trinket and maybe a Hand of Freedom, right? And also coordinating with your team to know, hey, we're gonna do this chain, like we know, Stun, Polymorph, and a Fear, something like that. Having all of these planets aligned, there's your window. Pop Avenging Wrath, you know, your unused trinket, and start smashing some hits. it's more or less sort of the same thing that as it always been. So I hope this answers your questions, man. Thank you for it as well. Keep them coming, bro. Okay, moving on to the next one. Mr. Giselle, you gotta help me with the pronunciation of that. I'm sorry if I butchered it. So, Mookins in beta, how do you feel about them? A little unfair, yeah? Dude, I think they're fixed right now. I mean, they fixed it with the latest hotfix. But the thing is, apart from the Azerite, you know, ability that buffed Moonfire, because everybody was spamming Moonfire like crazy, it was unfair. But I'm telling you that the biggest unfair aspect of it was the gear bug. I mean, there was a lot of boomkins that were exploiting that gear bug, okay? And I didn't really feel cool about that, because at the end of the day, you cannot really test out properly a PvP environment such as arenas or, you know, or BGs with that sort of shit happening. And it's partially Blizzard's fault. I mean, it's Blizzard's fault, because this has been reported like weeks ago, man, weeks ago. And the fact that they let it live on for a couple of weeks, it made testing arenas and PvP in general close to impossible, because there was a lot of them using it. So Moonkins in beta, hey, I don't mind Moonkins having, you know, really good Moonfire damage for them. It's just fucked up when it's paired with that gear bug. So unfair, yeah, but you know, you can talk to a lot of other guys who play different classes. When fighting against paladins, it's unfair. When fighting against assassination rogues, it's unfair. I believe the next class who will be unfair will be the demon hunters. Just go check out the buffs they get and you'll see what I'm talking about. Thank you for the question, dog. Moving along. Let's see who's next. Oh, Mr. Tristes. Another like really active subscriber. He's always like on the comments and shit like that. Don't think I don't notice you, man. Thank you so much. Keep it coming. But let's see. So yeah, I love this Q&A thing. Awesome, man. We're gonna keep on doing it. Keep going. Fucking love this channel. Love you too, man. Not sure if this is the right time to do it, since tuning still hasn't happened. Question for the next Q&A. How important is gearing BFA PvP? Will there be a big difference in PvP and PvE gear? Or is item level the most important stat? If there is PvP gear, what's the difference or benefits does it have when compared with PvE gear? Sorry for the length of the question. Kind of asked this already, but we didn't have all the info back then. Sure thing, man, I got you. So, first off, yes, PvP, I mean, in PvP, gear matters once again, but it's a little bit different. I mean, a lot of stats work, first of all, you have a lot more customization, plus it matters also because of the Azerite traits. Now, in regards to the difference on PvP and PvE gear, I didn't see that much of it, maybe a little bit of in stats, like PvP gear having versatility, but when talking about Azerite traits, both aspects, both PvE and PvP gear have the same Azerite traits. Maybe things are going to change, but for the moment there's not that much of a difference. Stat wise, sure, I mean specifically for Ret Paladins, you're looking for that haste gear, you know, that haste enchant, haste trinket and shit like that, and maybe versatility, you know, because versatility and crit for Reds are really close in terms of like damage, and this is not from my ass. This is like after talking with Skeletor, like, you know, huge ass theory crafter who knows this shit. So one difference you can notice is in trinkets and in rings, okay, because PvE ones have a lot of different effects and procs and you know, on-use effects and shit like that. And specifically for PvP, I've only tried out the PvP ones and gotten used to that, and I know I'm not gonna get trinkets or rings that have, you know, bombastic fucking effects, you know what I mean? So I'm keeping it to the PvE side. But on the real talk, not that much of a difference, man. And item level, yeah, it's still important, but stat templates are gone. So you're gonna get like the best in slot gear when you're playing PvP. It's gonna be really competitive in PvE as well. So I hope that answers your question, man. If not, just, you know, develop it in the comment on this video. We're gonna carry on with the discussion. But thank you very much, Tristes. Keep on coming. And the last question is from Scholland or S Holland 561. What do you think is going to be the best comps, best or good comps to run threes with? Assuming you're asking about Ret Paladin comps specifically, you know, there's two comps that always come to mind for BFA, at least for me. Obviously, the first one is going to be Cupid. It's like old school comp for Ret Paladins, really good synergy with Hunters. I can see it work really well as Red BM Hunter with a Discipline Priest. Then also I can see Scooby-Doo Cleave coming back as well, Scooby-Doo comp, and that means Ret Paladin, Sub-Rogue, all specs of the Rogue actually. I mean, I can see it really good with Assassination Rogue and with Outlaw Orc, especially Outlaw, since they have Tricks of the Trade and they can really buff up your damage. In regards to casters, you know, in Legion we had really good comps playing with Shadow Priests and with Warlocks, you know, Affliction and Demonology. The thing is, Shadow Priests need to get a bit of love on the damage side of things. They can perform really good in PvP, specifically 3v3 arena, because they're really useful, you know, with stun, you know, silence, fear, all that. They have really good package, but the damage isn't quite there, and they're gonna get fixed on 8.1 from what they said. So this is the more or less what I'm looking for in BFA, you know, playing either Cupid, Scooby-Doo, you know, Red Shadow Priest or Red Warlock. Something else may pop up, but we'll just have to see. Vanguards maybe, I don't know. But with this one we closed it off. We finished the Q&A. And I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my soul for all of the questions and all of the confidence you guys give me here. And we're going to make this official. Every Monday we're going to have a Q&A. It doesn't matter on what question it is. Just throw it in the comment on this video. I'm going to heart it. And you're going to know that the answer for that comment or the question is going to be available on next Monday for the next Q&A. If you enjoyed this one, a thumbs up would be really appreciated and helpful, of course. Huge shout out to our Patreons, Hellhunter and Rumple Foreskin. Awesome guys, thank you for all the love and the support. If you like to support that channel in that way, we have the Patreon link in the description over there. This rounds it up. Thank you once again. See you tomorrow on the next video. Peace.